Welcome to Echoes Untold, where we uncover the lost stories of history, stories of bravery, sacrifice, and sometimes, heartbreaking tragedy. Today, we tell the story of the USS Seawolf, a seasoned American submarine that fought valiantly in the Pacific during World War II. But Seawolf did not meet her end in battle against the enemy. Instead, she was lost to a tragic case of mistaken identity, sunk by friendly fire in one of the most devastating submarine losses of the war. 83 men perished, including experienced submariners and 17 Army operatives on a top-secret mission. Their deaths were not at the hands of the Japanese, but by the very forces they fought alongside. How did this happen? What went wrong? And how did this tragedy change naval warfare forever? Join us as we uncover the final moments of the USS Seawolf, a story of heroism, human error, and the cruel hand of fate. This is Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. The USS Seawolf was one of the most accomplished submarines in the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet. Commissioned on December 1, 1939, she was part of the Sargo class, a formidable series of submarines designed for long-range patrols and deadly torpedo strikes. Before her final mission, Seawolf had already completed 14 war patrols. She had earned a reputation as a silent predator, stalking Japanese warships and transports in the vast Pacific Ocean. By the time of her loss, she was credited with sinking at least 17 enemy vessels, though some reports suggest the number may have been higher. Among her most notable achievements was the sinking of the Nitsumaru, a crucial Japanese transport ship, and her successful infiltration of enemy-controlled waters to deliver supplies and intelligence to Allied forces. She had faced depth charges, dodged patrol boats, and lived to fight another day, time and time again. But even the most experienced warriors can fall. And for the Seawolf, it would not be an enemy's torpedo or depth charge that sealed her fate. It would be a simple case of human error, compounded by the chaos of war. On September 21, 1944, the USS Seawolf left Brisbane, Australia, for what would be her 15th war patrol. This mission was unlike any before it. In addition to her standard crew of 66 submariners, she carried 17 U.S. Army personnel, intelligence operatives and guerrilla warfare specialists. Their mission was classified. The operatives were to be dropped off on Samar, an island in the Philippines, ahead of General Douglas MacArthur's long-awaited return. The Philippines, occupied by Japanese forces since 1942, was about to become the center of a massive American offensive. MacArthur's forces needed intelligence, knowledge of enemy movements, defenses, and weak points. The men aboard Seawolf were to gather this intelligence from local resistance fighters and radio it back before the invasion. It was a dangerous assignment, but the Seawolf had faced danger before. As she set sail into the Pacific, none aboard could have imagined that they would never return. By October 1944, the Pacific was a chessboard of naval operations. American forces were preparing for the Battle of Lake Gulf, the largest naval battle of World War II. Dozens of U.S. submarines prowled the waters, and so did Japanese warships. The risk of mistaken identity was high. To minimize friendly fire incidents, American submarines followed strict communication protocols. Submarines had to check in at designated times and respond to recognition signals if detected. But in the fog of war, even the best systems can fail. On October 3, the USS Seawolf was operating near Morotai, in the eastern Philippine waters. It was a dangerous region, teeming with enemy activity. Unfortunately, an enemy submarine had been spotted in the same vicinity. The destroyer escort USS Richard M. Rowell was part of a task force hunting this enemy submarine. When sonar detected a submerged vessel, the crew believed they had found their target. A recognition signal was sent, but no response came. Why? The truth remains uncertain. Some historians believe Seawolf may not have received the message. Others suggest that mechanical failure prevented her from responding. Some even speculate that, at the moment the signal was sent, Seawolf was maneuvering or surfacing and couldn't react in time. Regardless of the reason, the crew of the Rowell had no confirmation of the submarine's identity. And with tensions running high, they could not afford to hesitate. The order was given. The USS Richard M. Rowell launched a full anti-submarine attack. The first wave of depth charges detonated beneath the waves, sending shockwaves through the ocean. If the submarine below was Japanese, it was now crippled. Then, the submarine surfaced. For a brief moment, there was a chance for identification. But within moments, the USS Seawolf was gone, disappearing beneath the waves forever. All 83 men aboard were lost. It wasn't until later that the horrifying truth emerged. There had been no Japanese submarine in the area that day. The vessel the Rowell had sunk was one of their own. The loss of the Seawolf sent shockwaves through the Navy. Investigations were launched, and new measures were put in place to prevent such a disaster from happening again. For the families of the men aboard, the pain of their loss was deepened by the bitter truth: these men had not died in combat against the enemy, but because of a mistake. The wreck of the USS Seawolf has never been found. Somewhere in the depths of the Pacific, she remains, a silent tomb for the men who gave their lives. To honor the memory of those lost, the U.S. Navy named a new submarine in her honor, the USS Seawolf, SSN-21, a modern nuclear attack submarine commissioned in the 1990s. Her legacy endures, a tribute to the men who never came home. The story of the USS Seawolf is a somber reminder of the costs of war, not just the battles against the enemy, but the dangers that come from within. Her loss changed how submarines operated, ensuring that such a mistake would never happen again. But more importantly, it reminds us of the men who served, brave sailors and soldiers who went to war for their country and never returned. We honor them today. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and comment. And if you want to hear more tales of history's lost echoes, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes Untold. This has been Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Fact-checked note. The sinking of the USS Seawolf by friendly fire is confirmed in official U.S. Navy records, including the Dictionary of American Naval Fighting Ships, DANFS, and reports from the Joint Army-Navy Assessment Committee, JANAC. Additional sources include Silent Victory, the U.S. Submarine War Against Japan by Clay Blair, and records from the Naval History and Heritage Command.